introduce my friend Christopher Blay, who is an artist, writer, and curator with a BFA from Texas Christian University. He has worked as curator for the Art Corridor Gallery at Tarrant County College Southwest for the past 8 years. He is also an art critic for the Fort Worth Weekly magazine. Blay was the Spring 2017 visiting artist at the Dallas Museum of Art Center for Creative Connections, and is the first guest curator at the Fort Worth Contemporary Art. Welcome.
Wow, I don't know if I can follow that. Anything so eloquent and profound, but hey guys. So, in high school I wanted to be an architect like one of you guys, and but I didn't have, my sort of fallback was drafting, so I took drafting. And took a lot of drafting classes, and I hoped that someday I would parlay that into architecture. I once sat on next to, I think it's Charles Moore, is that an architect? Yeah. His, one of his assistants on an airplane, that's as close as I got. And then the second closest thing was this project, and it would be to work with architects on art in public spaces. And this foray came with BC Workshop. It's a local architecture organization. And they had an initiative called Activating Vacancies. So one of the streets in the neighborhood of the 10th Street district where this project started was called Noah Street, and I thought, what would be more fitting than to build an ark on a street called Noah Street? So my project was born. I worked with my friend Joshua Nason, who's an architect at UTA, and he sort of transformed my scribbles into working drawings, and we were off. And then over a period of a couple of months at a few presentations, approvals, and back to the drawing board, the project took off. And my concept for the ark was to gather doors and windows from the neighborhood and build it around this shipping container and make it sort of like a living, breathing archive of the neighborhood, because it was being transformed and we wanted to do something. So the Fort Worth Zoo came out, or Dallas Zoo came out, and we had a really fun time there. The next project was the Combs Creek project in Dallas, and this is the Combs Creek Park in Dallas. I answered a call for artists and was the artist selected for this project. And working with Wooten Metal, now Davis Metal in Dallas, my drawings were cut out of, I wanted to create this drawing of the river from the park to the Trinity River. And my drawings were cut out by Wooten Metal. They used Corten steel, which was the sort of material of choice, and stainless steel to cut out the drawings of the river that I created. And so I worked with them to make that happen. But as you can see, working with them and a subcontractor that was supposed to do a dig test for water lines didn't quite work out, and we had this beautiful fountain in the middle of the project space. But sort of overcame that, and the project continued. The installers came, and it was just like this sort of my first kind of working with fabricators and subcontractors to see these things that I drew on paper come to life in spaces. So after the installation, it looked like this, and then it sort of evolved because there needed to be some setting happening, and that took a couple of months. And some of this original material around the structure was moved, and the final iteration and the complete project included a walkway in front of the structure. And it was, the concept was based on this song by Antonio Carlos Jobim about a river, winding river that couldn't find the sea. And I thought it would be appropriate to incorporate this idea of a lost river next to a creek. And the project that I'm working on right now is on East Rosedale Street here in Fort Worth, just about south and east of here. And it's in the Evans Avenue neighborhood. Again, it was something where I answered a call for artists and interviewed with 3 other artists, and I was the artist selected. And the work is designated to be, stipulated to be on the sidewalk. And I was trying to come up with this idea of what could function in this old Freedmen's neighborhood on the sidewalk. And I started thinking about how significant transit buses were in the civil rights movement. And I thought it would be interesting to build a monument of a bus on the sidewalk, sort of as a rest stop, a bus stop, and just sort of a space for contemplation. So the East Rosedale Monument Project is a transit bus that's being converted into a physical space that has informational panels, and I'm working with the residents in the neighborhood on haikus about the neighborhood that will be displayed on these message boards. And I had the great fortune of working with Mitchell Garman Architects, and that they transformed those napkin drawings that you saw into really beautiful working concept drawings that I now work with a fabricator to create. And it's a really great connection with architects and artists working with concepts and bringing them to fruition. So thank you for the opportunity.